This is the FUT Champions Cup Stage 1 cross-console final. Xbox winner, DhTekkz, taking on PlayStation 4 winner, Fifilza. I am absolutely buzzing for this one, guys. This is the final game of the weekend, and whoever wins this is, I believe, the #1 player in the world as we stand. It is going to be the ultimate perfect final, the two perfect records, England versus Brazil, the people that created the game against the people that perfected the game.
Both players unbeaten so far in the tournament.
9-0, but only one of them can make it 10-0. And I'll just talk you through how they got here. They've taken down some pretty big players along their way. Fifilza beating #Harry, then Uston, then Crazy, and then Yago most recently in that PlayStation final. Whereas DhTekkz, I mean, he's had an interesting run. Maybe not some of the bigger matchups you would expect on the Xbox side, beating Sakul, Phil, and Spider Kong. And then, of course, he had that incredible matchup that we saw against Lyrics, just narrowly beating him 2-1, his hardest matchup of the tournament so far. But he is here. He's in that grand final. And as Mark alluded to, as the entire desk has been saying, this could be the third time we've seen him pick up the first major of a season. FIFA 17, FIFA 18, FIFA 19, now FIFA 20. This is a real chance for history to be made. But I think you're right. Fifilza is not going to make this easy.
Well, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the two competitors on your screen. It is the Brazilian Fifilza taking on Fnatic, newly signed DhTekkz in our grand finals here in Bucharest. And I just get the feeling, Dan, this might not be the first time we see these two matching up this year.
And what a signing it has been for Fnatic as well. I'm sure when they put that pen to paper, they were delighted to get DhTekkz on board, but there will always be that consideration of, will he be able to do it again? Can he show that same form we've seen in previous FIFAs? Well, he's still aggressive, he's still getting in the face of his opponents, he's still scoring goals, and he's in yet another cross-console final.
And he's already won the ball high up the pitch as well, which for Fifilza is going to be something he's going to have to keep his eye on, because the way that I see Fifilza approaching FIFA 20 is fairly similar to what we saw from Lyrics. And I think if DhTekkz can apply the same kind of pressure that he did in the game against Lyrics, he could have some success here.
But we did see Fifilza in the previous game show he can score goals in those early stages of the game. He surprised Yago. He came out of the blocks very hot and got 2 goals in quick succession. And then it was just a real struggle for Yago for the rest of that series. Yes, okay, he pulled it back, but Fifilza showed how strong he was.
Well, here's Ruud then turning and twisting in a driven ball into R9. Virgil van Dijk comes out to try and deal with the strength of R9, and it was a little bit messy, it was a little bit awkward, but it was effective there from DhTekkz defensively. That's Garincha again on that right-hand side. He's been a real influence for DhTekkz.
He really has. I mean, I'm sure that his market price probably rised as soon as everyone saw that DhTekkz was using him on an esports account where you can use any player you want in the game. He really has done a job for him.
Well, here's another Brazilian who has been in pretty much every single squad we've seen so far. It was R9 Ronaldo, but this man has been finding the back of the net more often than not himself. And of course, Mangia Sabio, but this time the shot was blocked. But opportunities at both ends to start this one off, Dan.
Fifilza has to be really careful in that final third area if he allows DhTekkz to get that space in the box, because we've seen how effectively he can turn, how quickly he can swivel and get that shot away, whether it be right foot or left foot, because he's got the 5-star weak foot of R9, of Eusebio, just there waiting to pounce. And he's got Neymar there as well, just on the wing to join the fray.
Well, here's Zambrotta then in that fullback position. Little ball inside here to R9 Ronaldo. Mbappe dropping off, being called towards the ball there by Fifilza. Well, now you're seeing DhTekkz again. Look where Hullet is on the pitch, pushing high up, trying to win that ball. But now you're going to see a little bit of space in behind. R9 with the strike, and Allison has to get a strong hand on that one to turn it behind for a corner.
I like that from Fifilza as well. Just test the goalkeeper early. Test DhTekkz a little bit early as well. You get yourself a corner, put a little bit of pressure, say, look, I'm not afraid to shoot. If you're going to give me that space, I'm going to take these shots.
Chance here maybe for Hullet. Van Dijk in again, and DhTekkz was saying how much, not just in real-life football in that Liverpool shirt, he loves Virgil van Dijk, but on this game, he said he's the best centre-back on the game. And you can see he can rely on him once again.
Impressive records for both of these in terms of the fact they haven't lost a game. You also have to look at the amount of goals they've scored and the amount of goals they've conceded as well. It's only been 8 goals conceded for Fifilza in this entire tournament.
Great little touch past him from Ruud Hullet there. Tries to feed it into R9. Well, sometimes it's the unexpected, just a little bit of left stick dribbling there from DhTekkz, which created the space. Here's R9, drag back. Maybe might open up for a finesse shot of his own, but instead Goes back to Patrick Vieira. Here's Ronaldo. Eusebio exchanging quick passes again, and this is looking pretty dangerous here for Fifilza. Needs to keep his wits about him.
We can already see why there's an average of less than a goal per series that Fifilza has actually conceded throughout this tournament. Tekkz really struggling to get into that last chance situation, get that shot away, but there is a free kick. Anything that we can see from Fnatic's new signing.
Taking short there, a little flick up actually, maybe just keeping Fifilza guessing if he was going to fancy a little volley on that one, test the goalkeeper out, but instead he's played a beautiful weighted pass out wide there. Eusebio into R9, danger here for Fifilza. The heel to heel, the double. To cause some trouble here for Fifilza, back into R9, round the corner, big chance! Tekkz takes the lead!
And he takes the lead in the same fashion we've seen time and time again this tournament. It's the heel to heels that just confuse his opponent, but he's not scared to recycle that play, to go back to the midfielders, wait for the perfect opportunity to pounce, look for that space, and it's Eusebio again, just in the right time, at the right place, and he's managed to take a goal lead here. And if that's anything to go by, then we're in for an incredible grand final.
What a start this is from Fnatic Tekkz. Everything he could have wanted within the first half an hour. The goal to break the deadlock and the way that he worked it is surely going to fill him with confidence.
And all the talk about Fifilza's defence and how he's a defensive player. We have to look at Tekkz's defensive record as well. Only conceded 9 goals in the tournament. That's 1 per series because he's played 9 series. Incredible, really, that both of these players can keep such a low-scoring game against themselves.
Let's put that into perspective as well. When we say series, that's 2 games of FIFA. So that's less than a goal a game, which is an absolutely phenomenal record. But he's going to have to keep his wits about him here as Cristiano Ronaldo fires the ball into Ruud Gullit. He gets the finesse shot a little bit wrong there, and it will just disappear behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, and I think Tekkz will be happy with shots like that coming out from Fifilza. Whilst I was encouraging the shot a little bit earlier from Fifilza, I think that maybe that was a little bit rushed with Gullit. Yeah, okay, the space was available, but I don't think necessarily finesse was the right option. Maybe he just could have tried to drive that one to one of the keeper's sides, or even just go for that extra pass. If we look at goals scored, though, Tekkz has been the player who's scored more. He's got 34 goals this tournament in comparison to 28 for Fifilza. So an extra 6 goals across those 9 games. That's an average of 3.77 per series for Tekkz as well. So even though, yes, okay, he's been strong at the back, he has been bagging them as well.
Tekkz teasing with Neymar on this left-hand side. Stops up, gets his body in between Carlos Alberto and the ball. Goes all the way back to the fullback now. Zambrotta goes back inside to Gullit. Bit of space here for R9. It's a 3v3 situation if he can play this ball wide. Eusebio, though, just a little bit sloppy in possession there, and with around 50 seconds left in game this first half, maybe a chance for Fifilza to go forward, but Tekkz defends well.
Yeah, he just steps up so successfully with his fullbacks, does Tekkz. And Fifilza's really struggled to get into any real dangerous areas. He's managed to get a couple of shots away, but realistically, they were both from the edge of the box. They weren't that threatening, whereas Tekkz has looked pretty scary. He's been able to play that ball into R9, but instead of just looking for the turn straight away, he's actually been retreating, running back towards the halfway line, and then looking for the runners, and been able to try and play that pass to the likes of Eusebio, to the likes of Neymar. And that's where we found his first goal. And he is a goal closer to lifting another trophy in Bucharest. It would be his 5th FUT Champions Cup.
Unbelievable record.
Barcelona, Bucharest, Singapore, Atlanta. Of course, that stretches across FIFA 18 and 19. It'll be the 3rd time he lifts a trophy in the first major of a FIFA title. The consistency that Tekkz has shown is unhuman.
It's unparalleled, unprecedented. But for Fifilza, still a lot of time left in this game, of course. Not just the one game of FIFA to decide who will be our cross-console champion. Of course, we play 2 legs here. The scores are tied on aggregate. After those 2 legs, we go to extra time and penalties. But for Tekkz, he has the game and the pace of the game in his hands now. He can afford to take his time a little bit more, but to create some clear-cut chances. Force Fifilza to work to get that ball back as Eusebio now turns. And you can already see here, Dan, Fifilza committing a few more players up the pitch. I like that from the Brazilian. He's not going to let Tekkz have an easy ride.
I don't think Tekkz ever expects an easy ride, though, even though he is still very young, very experienced in the FIFA scene, holds himself very well, has slowly matured both in his playstyle and his age. And I think he knows and he expects Fifilza to burst into life at any point, so he has to keep his focus.
Well, here's Hullet then into the field of R9. You can see the idea again from Fifilza, looking to get that scoop turn, that little burst of acceleration away from Virgil van Dijk. Carlos Alberto comes across with a crunching tackle there to win the ball back, and now Fifilza might be able to counter-attack, but given away again, as Eusebio's the man to pick up possession.
And if you are unfamiliar with how FIFA esports works, in the grand final there is a leg on the PlayStation and then a leg on the Xbox. We're starting on the PlayStation. So Tekkz arguably on his unfamiliar console, but as we spoke about on the couch, he's been here that many times now. He's played on the PlayStation enough times as well that that's not really an excuse for him. The amount of times we've seen him dominate a PlayStation leg as well.
Vieira tracks back there onto Ronaldo. And on the other side of that, Dan, we should mention this is the first cross-console final that we've seen Fifilza competing in. So this is new territory for the Brazilian, as Johan Cruyff looks to get deep into Tekkz's territory at the moment and find an opening, finds the ball to Hullet. Great interpass in here as Zambrotta just at the right time again for Tekkz. His timing on those tackles really is impeccable.
And it's so often those fullbacks as well. Really gets them involved in the mix-up.
Lovely ball from there, and Mbappe with a little snapshot.
All he needs is one of those, though. Does Fifilza. All right, the percentage chances aren't as high as if he was able to get a more definitive one-on-one situation, but we have seen them go in throughout this tournament and throughout FIFA 20 in general. So it is worth a pop now and then, and if Tekkz is going to restrict him to only those chances, then I'm sure he's going to take them.
In behind here for Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at the runner there, Hullet moving on from a deeper midfield position there to join the attack. Just couldn't find those final couple of passes to kind of weave the tapestry together to create that chance. Unfortunate for Fifilza, but promising signs for him going forward.
Every time Tekkz is on the ball, it's almost like I'm watching a ballet, like Swan Lake is about to perform in front of us. It's the 1, 2, 3 turns every single time, just to analyze where the defenders are going to be approaching him from. Keeping that ball close to the feet, utilizing the dribbling skills of these incredible icons and items that he's able to use here on these esports accounts.
Well, here is Garincha, the man who has kind of become synonymous with Tekkz at this tournament. Can't get away from Ronaldo, who's doing a little bit of defensive work himself, but will win the throw-in here on the near side. Eusebio picks up the pieces from the throw-in, gets it back to Garincha. Brazilian inside the box, finds another Brazilian, but he was just offside. He looked like he was just ahead of that defensive line. Linesman calls it back to give a free kick here to Fifilza.
There are positives Fifilza can take from this game, though. He has got into a couple of nervy areas that has made Tekkz's defense look wobbly at times. Sure, he hasn't committed to that extra pass to see if he can try and get that ball through for the one-on-ones, but those shots are enough just to worry your opponent when it's only 1-0.
Let's go into one of those advanced areas again here. Van Dijk will get a little bit physical. There will be an advantage played here by the referee. Fifilza plays on, lovely ball inside the box. Chance here for R9, gets it on to that right foot, rifles it towards goal and forces the save from Alisson.
Again, though, I think Tekkz is going to be happy with those kind of shots. It was far enough away where he's going to be comfortable that the keeper's going to make the save. But it's enough just to apply the pressure for Fifilza. Give him that confidence. I am going to create chances against Tekkz.
Couldn't find anything there from the corner either. Took it short, tried to recycle possession. And now he's having to wait here for Fifilza, be patient so that he doesn't give that ball away in a dangerous area. And this might be one of the last chances he has to go forward. About 8 minutes left of regulation time. Mbappe interchanging passes here to R9. Gets back inside. This is looking dangerous. Lovely little dummy there. Cristiano Ronaldo. Fifilza, what a save Alisson.
And Van Dijk doing some work at the back as well. Collides with Cristiano Ronaldo, but it was Ronaldo the one at fault. So it's going to be a free kick for the goalkeeper. But what a chance it was for Fifilza with Mbappe. He went for that finesse to the right of him. I've seen it sometimes, just driving it to the left of the keeper, right at that near post. But maybe it was just enough of subtle goalkeeper movement from Tekkz just to make Fifilza second guess himself.
We have seen some absolutely huge saves from goalkeepers, whether it's been Yashin, whether it's been Alisson, the Liverpool man, in between the sticks. We've seen a lot of different characters who have been placed in goal for different players throughout the tournament, but Alisson showing his worth there. What a save that was to keep this one-goal advantage intact.
Very risky dink from the free kick by Tekkz, but it's worked out okay. He's kept possession. I'm sure he would be more than happy to go into his familiar console, the Xbox leg, with a one-goal advantage. I'm sure that Fifilza would have liked to at least been able to bag one, though, going into that leg. There's still a little bit of time, but I'm sure that Tekkz is going to restrict those chances.
So that chance for Fifilza looks like it might be his final chance of this first leg. Tekkz has the chance, though, to go forward, to compile the misery, to find a second here. It really would be a hammer blow to Brazilian hopes ahead of that second leg. And here comes the man from Fnatic. Into stoppage time, 30 seconds left in game. Vieira. Little cheeky ball into Johan Cruyff, and Tekkz. This is where he's so dangerous. A couple of step-overs. A little elastico back inside. Not enough to beat the defender, but he does have the corner. Hullet. Look at the man waiting on the edge of the box. Falls back here to Mbappe. Little turn inside. Virgil van Dijk. Can't force it through. Second chance. That will be the last chance. As Fifilza puts it out of play, and Tekkz takes a one-goal advantage into our second leg.
It got very messy in the box towards the end of it as well. Anyone but Van Dijk. He's going to have those opportunities if he can just pass that ball across the pitch to, like we saw before with Mbappe. But hopefully the next time he gets that opportunity, he'll be able to put it away.
So here it is, the final 90 minutes. FUT Champions Cup Stage 1, live here from Bucharest, is underway. Tekkz, as you can see, with that one-goal advantage on aggregate. If Wolves' Fifilza manages to find a goal here and keep Tekkz at bay, we will go to extra time, and if needed, penalties.
And either way, it's going to be an incredible moment for either of these players. Either it's going to be Tekkz making it 3 seasons in a row, picking up the first major, or it could be Fifilza being the first PlayStation FUT Champions Cup winner in quite some time. We didn't see one of them throughout FIFA 19.
The ball that is into Ronaldo, trying to get that shot away. Fifilza timing the tackle superbly there with Virgil van Dijk, but early warning signs there for the Brazilian.
Very hard, though, when R9 has his back to you and he's just shielding the ball so strong to try and win it back off him. And you know that it's just a scoop turn away, a dummy away, maybe just a pass, a 1-2 away from being a goal. Have to be so focused, so concentrated whilst defending.
This is a nice move here on this left-hand side from Fifilza. Managed to get aggressive there and tries that little accelerated fake shot around the fullback, but we've seen both fullbacks, either Carlos Alberto or Zambrotta, have been absolutely rock solid.
Yeah, and the fake shot would have worked in FIFA 19, but it doesn't really work as well in FIFA 20 unless you're directly side by side with the defender. That's when that acceleration can really just take the ball away from them, and then you can get that advantage. But maybe just a poor prediction from Fifilza, expected him to be a little bit closer, perhaps.
And you can see Fifilza here, the way that he's defending. I think he's trying to presume that Tekkz is going to not go straight towards goal! But a goal it is! Tekkz doubles his lead. And that man, R9, is just deadly.
Fifilza just gave him a little bit too much space. He gave Tekkz the time to think, and he was able to get away from the man. Blanc just left in the dust, and R9 smashes it home, and Tekkz again taking his chances.
Tekkz is looking absolutely flawless here in Bucharest. And if he does win this, it would be the perfect tournament as well. We have to keep that in consideration as the young man once again wins possession back for the restart.
And I remember last season counting the amount of goals that Tekkz was scoring from tournament to tournament and how they were accumulating and the impressive goal-scoring record. That takes him up to 36 now with 2 goals from this tournament. 36 from 9 games, not bad at all, especially when you consider the current meta of FIFA 20 and how defensive it's been in some of these games.
It really has been an exhibition from someone that I named the special one last year. He's showing that has carried over here into FIFA 20, but for Fifilza, now the game has completely changed. The situation was new to him before he got into this game, never been in a cross-console final before. And now he's chasing the game, not just by 1, but by 2.
And not just by 2, but also on an Xbox now. A console that I'm not particularly sure he has that much experience with, and I know it's just a controller, and I know most players are prepared for it, and they usually have some sort of controller that's modified, that makes it feel like their familiar console. Would Fifilza have been expecting to be in a cross-console final? Would he have packed said controller? I know Tekkz would have.
Well, here's Tekkz again. He has history in his own hands at the moment, just needs to not make mistakes. And that's something that we definitely can confirm that Tekkz has not done so far here in Bucharest. As Alberto goes back into Vieira now, a 3rd goal here. And you have to feel Fifilza would be completely deflated. Here's R9, beautiful from Tekkz! He is special!
And it is so simple, but so effective. The drag back is deadly in and around the box. Filthy. That's 3 for Tekkz. And we may have to start carving that name on the trophy already.
Tekkz again showing in so many different areas of the pitch why he is such a talented human being. It doesn't matter what console it is. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Tekkz always finds a way to win. And not only that, Dan, a way to entertain as well.
It doesn't even matter what FIFA it is. 18, 19, 20, he's doing it again. The consistency that this young man is showing is absolutely sublime.
Well,
and there's been so many questions asked, is he the greatest of all time? I mean, get that question back in your mouth. He didn't have a great E-World Cup. He knows that. He let himself down, he let his fans down during FIFA 19. After arguably one of the best seasons of all time, it came down to nothing because he wasn't even able to get out of the group stages. But FIFA 20, you feel like he's here to prove a point now.
Well, Fifilza to go 2 down this early on in the second leg when you're already chasing the game, just makes things even more difficult. And keep an eye on that player cam as well. See what the body language is like. See if he's keeping his head up, if there's no shakes of the head. But you do feel here, Dan, that he needs a goal before half-time if he wants any chance of getting back into this game. But Tekkz is just starting to flow. Here's the ball into Garincha. Vieira back to the Brazilian. Well defended, though.
What does Fifilza have left? An absolutely flawless tournament for him as well up to this point. Just sweeping aside everyone. But now 3 goals down. This is unfamiliar to territory already. Not to mention the fact it's his first ever cross-console final. If he can get just 1 before half-time, that might just give him the confidence he needs, but we've spoken about it before. Tekkz very good at managing a game when he gets a lead like this. He's developed so much since that young man we saw burst onto the scene in Barcelona, where he's matured as a FIFA player. He knows how to finish a game. He's got Enzo's tactics behind him as well. We saw how much he changed when Enzo started coaching him in FIFA 19.
Well, here's Eusebio. And Tekkz again looking dangerous right at the end of the first half of the second leg. Eusebio gets it back to R9, scoop, turn and block. I mean, he was spinning like a top, but he managed to get some part of the ball.
Didn't know if I was watching FIFA or Beyblade with the amount he was spinning there, but might not be enough time. It's not going to be. Half-time then, and a 3-0 lead on aggregate for Fnatic Tekkz, and he's 45 minutes away from lifting another trophy in Bucharest.
67% possession. On the other side of things, Fifilza, who's the man who's chasing this game at the moment, 33% possession, a third of the possession, no shots on target, no shots whatsoever. I know it sounds very obvious, but things need to change here. It has to happen. It has to be magic from Fifilza in this 45.
And we've seen it in cross-console finals before, where you get into this situation where people are playing the likes of DhTekkz, and they go a goal or two down, and then they go all-out attack, and they end up losing by 5 or 6. It happened to Maestro at Foot Champions Cup in London against DhTekkz, I remember. How much does Fifilza have? Does he go for, I'm just going to throw everything forward now, going all-out attack, I don't care if I lose by 7, 8, 9, it doesn't matter to me? Or is he going to be thinking, I want a respectable scoreline here?
Nobody remembers the scoreline. I think everybody just remembers the result of the game, and I think for Fifilza, he needs to have the confidence in himself to pull off something special here in Bucharest. Do it for your fans back home. Do it for Wolves Esports, who have given you that backing. Do it for yourself, just to prove you can go that one stage further and call yourself a cross-console champion.
$50,000 on the line. Both of them already guaranteed themselves $30,000, so it's a $20,000 game. And Tekkz looks like he's going to be the one taking home that check as it stands.
Great ball inside to Eusebio as well. Blanc does well to defend it. Switch of the play here from Fifilza. Mbappe continues his run, maybe just looking to stretch the defense. Fifilza starting to get a little bit more direct with his play. You can see it. Tekkz keeps pressuring the ball. Van Dijk hassling R9. And Virgil van Dijk again. He just seems even better in the hands of Tekkz.
It's because Tekkz likes to hassle. He likes to press. He doesn't allow his opponent ever to have an easy time. In the goals that Tekkz has scored, Fifilza's just given him that little bit too much space, maybe too much respect. Whereas Tekkz doesn't have that same respect. He just wants to pummel everyone. He wants to get in their faces. He wants to steal that ball back. He wants to be in control of the ball so that he can score the goals.
And now Fifilza's going to have to push men up the pitch. Have to try and win that ball back. And that is going to leave spaces in the areas that you just saw Eusebio pick the ball up. Just in between that midfield. Just in front of that back four. And as we approach the hour mark here, Vieira again just waiting for players to push out, to leave those spaces in behind, to try and win the ball. And now Neymar with the ball roll and a step over, a fake Rabona. Can't quite fool Fifilza enough to get the space to get the crossing.
Tekkz just saying, look, I've got a 3-0 lead, you've got to come to me. More than happy for 10 of your men behind the ball, because if 10 men are behind the ball, you're not going to be scoring against me, and this trophy's mine. He can be patient. Fifilza has to press, has to bring some of these men back out of defence and start trying to win this ball back.
Well, Tekkz is playing this to the T. Keeping possession. Not even giving Fifilza a sniff. As Ronaldo now gets inside the box! Drills it against the upright, and that would have been the game. And now, a little bit of panic here. Gets it onto the left foot of Neymar. Fifilza didn't clear his lines properly. But Tekkz again showing maybe something we wouldn't have seen a year or so ago. A little bit of maturity. And valuing possession over another goal here.
Yeah, just saying, oh, okay, I'll have the ball back. I will eat it a little bit more away of this time.
Corinthia turns back inside. Neymar has his shot blocked.
Time is ticking away for Fifilza. And whenever he gets that ball, he's going to be desperate to get it up the pitch. But I feel like time is against him now. I've seen goals scored in quick succession, but not against Fnatic Tekkz.
He's barely touched the ball in this half. It's as simple as that. He has barely touched the ball. And when you are chasing a game and you're 3 down, it has to be absolutely heartbreaking to not even be able to get that ball in your possession. Zambrotta now, again, just waiting for a pass to become available.
And usually when you see possession stats like this, you assume that the opposition has been playing the ball around the defence and running away from the strikers. It's actually been Tekkz just trying to work his way into the final third. In fact, most of the passes have been within the final third, but Fifilza has just sat back and just kind of waited and hoped there was going to be a mistake. So difficult to press, we know, in FIFA 20. So difficult to win that ball back, but another mistake from Fifilza as he desperately tries to get anything to try and just slowly but surely get himself back into this game. But I'm fairly certain that name is going to be carved onto started to be carved on the trophy. Maybe at least an F, an A, an N. The Fnatic has begun. Or maybe it's just going to be a T-E-K-K-Z.
Here's Neymar then on the left-hand side. Tekkz loves to entertain, and with a 3-goal advantage at this point in the game, you just wonder, is there going to be something a little bit special for us to remember? What looks like an imminent victory here in Bucharest. Here's Garincha. Patrick Vieira is the man on the edge of the box. Van Dijk finds another Dutchman there in Ruud Gullit. There's Gullit again. You can see what he was trying. R9 was in acres of space. 10 minutes to go here in our cross-console final.
It's almost time for that victory lap. I wonder whether we'll see the likes of Steven Gerrard for Tekkz. And you say, will there be anything special? This tournament has been everything.
Garincha, back across goal. R9's desperately trying to get there, and every single sinew in my body wanting him to volley that with Garincha.
Even if there isn't that magic moment, it is a historic victory, a historic tournament for Tekkz. And one that I'm sure he will remember, many will remember, fans around the world of FIFA esports will remember. I'm sure down the line when it's FIFA 25, 26, we'll still be talking about those back-to-back-to-back first major victories.
Yusobie's gone for goal there. There will be a pause, and I'm just wondering if we're going to see what we're kind of expecting to see. Steven Gerrard in at camp.
Vintage Tekkz.
I told you he liked to entertain. As a huge Liverpool fan himself, he gets Steven Gerrard, the icon, in that cam position. And if he could bag a goal with him here, well, I think this might have been a perfect weekend in Bucharest.
So for quite some time, there's only been 4 names on those FUT Champions Cup trophies. And it's still going to be the same name again. We saw Dull and Mike being added to that list of names last year when he won in Bucharest. But the fact this will be Tekkz's 5th FUT Champions Cup trophy is nothing but incredible.
Absolutely outstanding. And here is Steven Gerrard, twisting and turning. And you know what Tekkz wants to do. Wants to give us something to write home about. But stoppage time is almost up. The whistle goes. And history is made. Fnatic Tekkz is your champion here in Bucharest. He just looks unstoppable.
Barcelona, Bucharest, Singapore, Atlanta, and Bucharest again. There's something in the water here in Romania that just brings out the best in Tekkz. A lot to be said about that young man too, though. Fifilza with an incredible tournament, 9-0, only losing to Tekkz in this grand final. He still walks away with 2,000 Global Series ranking points. He'll still be the top PlayStation player on the leaderboards and still gets 30 grand as well.
And he will be back for the second FUT Champions Cup that we have. So congratulations to Fifilza for your performance, but there's only one man we should be talking about, and that is, of course, unbelievably, Fnatic Tekkz doing it again in the first tournament of the season. It's just, I'm lost for words.
Thanks, fellas. That's right. I'm with Tekkz. You won the first event in 2018, first event in 2019, first event in 2020. How does it feel, my guy?
Yeah, so before the tournament, I didn't really care if I won or lost, but like when I beat Lux to get into the final, I was like, I can't lose now, I can't lose now. I was messaging everyone saying I'm actually nervous now because it's the first game I've been like properly nervous for. But yeah, my phone's been going off. I think Liverpool winning 2-0, so yeah, I need to go watch that one.
I actually saw both those goals. I had tabs opened everywhere.
Apparently Fabinho's goal was sick, but that's just what I've heard, so I need to go watch it now.
Okay, we can put it on after the, after we get everything here. But what's most important here is you getting your trophy, picking up, having that good energy, having that emotion. Woo! We need to work on this crowd. Oh. And just as a follow-up, you've been able to adapt and kind of transcend between each FIFA installment, because that's what people always say. Well, he can't have a year like he had last year. We can't have a year like the year that he had before that. So what's been the key? How have you been able to adapt, no matter what happens in the meta, no matter the pressure, no matter social media, joining new organizations, all of the above?
Let me put this down. It's actually quite heavy. Yeah, so FIFA 18 I won a tournament, and then FIFA 19 people seem to forget that I won like last year, but I said it earlier in the tournament, I don't care what people say anymore. I've gone past the stage of caring, I just don't read my replies, so whatever people say, feel free, but speak for yourself.
Yeah, what's important is you got the W, you're keeping the I guess the streak alive here. We got 3 in a row, maybe 4 in a row for next year. We're coming back. Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Back in Bucharest, of course, in a couple weeks.